Hey, what's going on, guys? Adam Devine,
Kevin Hansen with Lawn Care Juggernaut.
Today, we just got done with the Lawntrepreneur Academy on our drive. We're going to hit some points of a series that we are listening to, and we're going to discuss them a little with you, and then we're going to run with it.
Yeah, we're just going to take a topic and run with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, so let's go ahead and dive into it.
Yeah, we'll link it down below.
Yeah.
I've already listened to it. It's his first time listening to it, so it'll be nice to hear his fresh, somebody's fresh mind on this. And if you guys would like to buy it, we'll link it below, and go buy it.
It's Brian Fullerton's
Lawntrepreneur Academy, Productivity and Profitability Hacks.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's just dive into it.
Let's go.
Some of the stuff he's talking about, like I said, it's really good for where you're at. Year 3, year 4.
When you really need to start diving into your business. You're at the point that you figured out this isn't a hobby, that this is a full-time gig. What do you need to do to actually build this puppy, you know?
Yeah.
And
how do you squeeze the money out of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's good. The topics are really good because the way I learned a lot of the stuff that he's talking about is through the trials and pain of having employees, and then you get busy and it slowly eats away at your profit and the money, and then in the middle of the year you're like, I can't keep this dude around anymore, and you have to go solo the second half of the year, and this sucks because you're used to doing that workload with somebody else, so it's a little brutal. And then you feel like a failure too, so you almost subconsciously shut down. So honing in on your profitability as you plan on building your business and bringing employees on is, it's just makes sense to focus on those things before you get employees, because the thing is, the more employees you have, the bigger that problem looks.
Yep.
So with one person, if you're just solo, you can get away with doing things kind of by the seat of your pants, but when you add another person in, it's another issue. So one of the things I would say, and this is ripping off of it, I'm going to try not to say his line items on his topic. Let's just talk about like timing. Okay. Right now you're at the stage where you get out kind of solo right now. Yes. Right? You've had people work with you occasionally?
Yeah, I had about 6 people. I had about 6 people work with me over this last year. Most of them lasted about a day or two. Some lasted a couple yards. Yeah. So I'm still looking for that key player over the winter. That's my goal. Okay, so here's the thing: when and let's be honest about this. If you ask me a question, I'll be extremely honest as well. Okay. So just a really candid conversation. What time do you wake up? What time do you wake up, and then what time do you hit your first lawn? I'll wake up. Now, mind you, I've been running 60 to 70 lawns like this all summer.
He's still doing it. It doesn't mean you can't do it.
I wake up.
Yeah.
8:30 to 9 a.m. and I hit my first lawn about 11. So. Okay.
So here's one thing I'm going to tell you. With an employee, that by yourself it's brutal because you're getting out there when it's already hot.
Yep,
it's miserable. So the first couple hours of the day, it's amazing. The first couple hours and the last couple hours, if you like cutting light, are great because it's cooler weather and you have this boosted energy. So I've noticed with employees, there's more accountability, so you always get out earlier. And employees don't want to work for somebody that gets out at 11 when they got to be in the heat.
Yep.
It just doesn't work that way. And going on to employees, you don't want to be too relaxed with them on the time that you get out. They need structure. See, and the thing is, you'll have this transition point in your business where you realize that you're switching from the mindset of it's mine, I can do whatever I want, to I need to be focused and treat this as though I was an employee of this company, because I'm truly not the owner at this stage.
That's exactly where I'm at. That is exactly where I'm at. Right now, I'm still at that point of where I own a job. over this winter and through next year, I'm going to turn it into I own a business. So I'm also over the winter going to acclimate myself to becoming one of the 5 or 6 a.m. people. So I am, the moment it hits 8 a.m., we're already on the lawns.
Yeah, so waking up earlier is great. One thing that does make it easier to get up in the morning is having an employee. Some things are a little bit easier with employees, like workload, accountability. You know, they're not the easiest things, but they are. There's the benefit with them. Okay, so I'm not saying like workload's easier. I'm saying that the physical labor will be less on your body. You have to get up in the morning. You have more of a reason other than, oh, I got to get up and cut that lawn, but I can do it later.
Yeah.
Because your employee's like, hey, I'm on the clock, dude.
I had an old boss, a perfect example. We'd show up to his house 7 a.m. every morning. There were days, several days in fact, that, dude, I don't know what was wrong with the guy. Would not answer the door, so we got to clock in, would show up, banging on his doors and windows and whatnot, would not wake up until 11 to 1 p.m.
So, have you ever worked for a contractor? And, because I've worked for other contractors, and you show up at like 7, because they tell you to show up at the job site at 7, and then they show up at like 11 o'clock.
Yep.
And you're like, what's going on here? And this, okay, you know, and it's all no big deal. You get to work, they kind of avoid the situation. Well, come time to get paid, you know what they do?
They clock you in at 11.
They clock you in 11. And I've had that argument. For me. I said, no, man, you took up my time. You said 7. I was there.
Yep.
I waited. I could have done anything else in the world other than sit there, but you told me 7.
Yep.
And the way you need to treat it with your employees is that what you say to them needs to be what goes.
Yep.
And that goes with discipline, as well as your word is like something as simple as we're clocking in at this time.
It's part of creating systems in your business, and if you're in, you should probably start creating systems from day 1. But if you're in, you know, year 2 or 3, I'm going into I'm 2.5 years in business, so I'm at that point where I need to get these systems down, and I know it. Like, I see where I'm my biggest critic, you know.
Yeah.
I see where I'm failing and where I can do better. So
no, that's good. You need to be aware of where you're at, and allow yourself to be open and coachable, and you know, I mean, people love seeing that. So where I was going with the time is like, if you respect their time, they'll be more apt to respect your time.
Yes.
And you know, that's something definitely to keep in mind with employees. Well, this really turned into an employee conversation and less of a profitability conversation. But yeah, you definitely want to get profitable as you get employees, because it is just an absolute nightmare.
Yep.
And I've done it year after year after year after year. So when I'm talking to you, and you may watch my channel and you might go, he's solo currently, I want you to keep in mind that I have had an employee every single year, from year 1 until now. When I was younger, I used to manage, and I managed sometimes up to 20 people at one time, and that was a good eye-opener. It's much easier, I will say this, it's much easier to manage somebody else's employees.
Yes.
It is much easier because there's already a system in place than it is to walk in and think you know it, because everybody goes, this is what I'm going to do, this is how it's going to work. But what really happens is everybody has a plan until it goes to crap.
Yep. I thought you were going to say the Mike Tyson quote.
Yeah, what's that?
Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Well, that's what business is. You're going to get punched in the face time after time after time. I like that better. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
I like it, and then Gary Vaynerchuk is over here like, I just want to punch you in the face right now.
Yeah.
To wake you up. Let's go.
Business is legitimately how many punches can you take and stand back up.
Yep.
And so in my channel, I talk about a concept that I like to think of as Juggernaut, and it's piecing this armor of stuff you've learned in business, emotional or just a physical business trait or something that you've learned there, but it's piecing it together. You're stronger, so it's being able to call yourself a juggernaut. I guess I'm not too good at explaining it yet. Juggernaut is
to
your
make it an
armor.
unstoppable force.
Yes. You want to be an unstoppable force, and you know that's how business is. The things that you see as big problems now are little itty bitty baby problems. They're tiny. They're really nothing.
Yeah,
After a few years, you become numb to that.
they're easy.
Yeah, and
Easy.
you'll actually you'll almost black out those things that you thought were huge, horrible,
Yep.
rough problems. You'll black them out and you'll forget all about them. In the next couple of years, you'll see something else. You'll see something else. And what you'll start doing is noticing, and you'll proactively chase that out and start changing it the moment you see it be an issue. So if it's causing a problem, it's a thorn in your side, you're gonna learn how to fix it real fast, and you're just gonna adjust. Okay, so whether it's in your personal life or your business, it's what you would refer to as speed of implementation. So you see a problem, you have a solution. Maybe you have a solution for 3 or 4 years on some of the problems that you've had, which I understand because I've had them, but you have a lack of speed of implementation. So you know what would work, you doubt it, you don't have confidence, and therefore you don't implement it. You need to implement solutions to your problem as quick as possible. See, a lot of people think they need to completely drastically change and overhaul everything. I can't remember what book it is, okay, but they refer to the 2 millimeters of adjustment, and it comes down to plastic surgeons only make 2 millimeters of adjustment at a time.
Really?
And it makes such a drastic change in the way that somebody looks. So if you look at your business, you might only need to change 2 small things in your business, real small, to have a drastic change within a short period of time. So a lot of the times, kind of like, have you ever worked on equipments and doing maintenance?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're working
part of owning
on
your own business.
Absolutely. So when you're working on equipment, one of the things you do if you're troubleshooting is you don't fix 10 or 15 things at once, because then what happens is you have a new problem and you're like, oh, where did that come from? Where did that come from? So what you do is you take that 2 millimeters of change.
So anyway, if you are going to overhaul your whole business, winter's a great time to do it. For one, especially if you're in your first few years, winter's off time, okay? Winter's downtime or slow time, okay? So what you can do is you can use the winter to mentally and physically prepare your business for next year. Start making your marketing, start networking, start going to classes and seminars, okay? If you can't afford it, sit down in front of your TV or computer and put in a video, if they still have those, or a CD, or watch YouTube.
YouTube's perfect.
And yeah,
you can find anything you want about business on YouTube.
Yep, put it in, and don't sit there and veg out. What you do is you sit down, you find this topic and subject that you want to discuss,
But that's the thing, you're not doing a drastic change, you're just adjusting. Now when you go into winter, you might overhaul 10 different things in your business, but you're going to do it, and the solution generally comes down to one small thing. And here's the other thing, like I said, with the speed of implementation. If you hear something that's good, you need to write down, take notes, and then dive into that and make almost like a brain map of things you need to get done, and actually go through and start slamming those out. So the beginning stage is figure out a bunch of problems. I got these problems, track the problem down, and then get the solution, and then implement the solution. So, and like I said, most of the time it's something simple. For me, like with billing and getting my money faster, cash flow is a huge problem in business. It came down to simply putting card on file, which I thought was such a horrible, hard thing to do. But in all actuality, I didn't get any pushback.
What's going on, guys? Adam Devine.
Lawn Care Juggernaut.
Our conversation today.
Do I introduce myself in videos as Lawn Care Juggernaut? I think that's Kevin Hansen.
Kevin the Juggernaut.
Alright, let's do that.
Juggernaut the Kevin.
No, let's hit it. We'll start over.